Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of My Bucket List Day. I'm excited about this episode because I've got a lot of big news for you at the end of the video, so stay tuned. First, I want to apologize, there wasn't a video last Sunday. Many of you reached out and said, hey, what happened? Where's your video? Well, to be perfectly frank and transparent, I had a lot of shit going on and I just didn't have time to edit, didn't have time to finish filming it, and most importantly, something came up that changed the viewpoint, my viewpoint in that video. And we're going to talk about what that something that came up, what that is, a little later on in this video, so stay tuned. Anyway, based on the last video I put out, I had a lot of you reach out to me and say, well, what do you think about this RV? Or what do you think about that RV? Or what do you think about this versus this? I want to point out and say that was only my opinion on all this stuff. Everybody's got an opinion. That happened to be my opinion on this and my point of view based on what I saw. I'm not an expert on any one RV versus another, and I'm not an expert on any of those RVs, to be honest. I have become somewhat of an expert on Brinkley only because I've discovered so much good things that they are doing and the quality that they're putting out. I've really dove into that product and really understood what they're doing, why they're doing it, the principles behind it, and the quality is just there. So I've become an expert at that. I've dove into a few other brands, obviously the one I'm in right now, and I've got my opinion on that. You've all seen that. We don't need to rehash that. There's several others I talked about in the video, like the American Coach I used to have versus what I viewed at the show. But I am not an expert. Again, this is only my opinion on all this stuff. Some of you were hoping that I'd give you responses, and I will say I got thousands of comments from you guys, and I so much appreciate those. I keep asking you guys to leave me comments, hit that little like button. That always helps the channel, but you really came out on this last video. And I'm doing my best to catch up on all those comments. I think I've got only 1,200 left of comments between that and a couple other videos. At any rate, the majority of you were asking me to compare these things, and again, I'm not an expert, but I'll give you my true opinion in those comments. Again, that's just my point of view of the quality I experienced when I was at the show, or I should say, in most cases, the poor quality, the poor workmanship, the poor fit and finish. Now, others have echoed what I had said, and that brings me to the next thing where I got a lot of comments and questions on, and that is the frames on all of these different units. One will say, hey, you know, this company has a pretty good product and they use a Lippert frame, and this company puts out a product using a Lippert frame and it's garbage. I want to point out something that I believe to be very true, and that I think is the reason you're seeing all of this. Lippert makes the frame only by the specifications that is dictated to them by the manufacturer. Lippert doesn't just make a frame and send it to the manufacturer and say, here you go, based on your floor plan. They work closely with the manufacturer and they say, based on this floor plan, here's the frame, or they work together and the manufacturer says, here's the frame we want you to build. Lippert will look at it, they'll converse back and forth in partnership on it. However, it again is the manufacturer that picks the frame, designs the frame, and Lippert just builds it. Now, a couple caveats there. If the manufacturer decides to use a lower grade steel or a different type of steel in place of where it should have been a box beam and made it a C-channel, that's a decision based off of the manufacturer, not Lippert. Lippert may argue against it, but ultimately it's the manufacturer who makes those decisions based off of cost. How it's assembled, that is something that Lippert does. They assemble it. Now, when the manufacturer takes that same frame and decides, you know what, I'm going to change the floor plan up a little bit, even though it was originally designed for one floor plan, maybe they change and they move the refrigerator to another end, like maybe this end. Or they completely redesign it and throw it on the other side and throws off the balance, and I shouldn't say the balance, but throws off the floor plan completely. But they may still use the same frame. They may not go back to Lippert and say, hey, we're making these changes. They may just make these changes arbitrarily during production and Lippert has no idea this happened, and the way they designed the frame wasn't able to carry the weight of the refrigerator that is supposed to be here and move it over there or move it down there. So those are all things that can happen in the manufacturing process that could also affect the frame. In addition to when the frame is designed, again, this is all information that I found in researching this, but when the frame is designed and they're putting weight test on the frame, it's designed based on where items are going to be placed in the rig. So if they have something that's heavy that is in the back part of the axles and they move it to the front part of the axles, that drastically affects the geometry of that frame. And even though it's moved a foot or moved 2 feet, that can change the geometry and can cause potential problems down the road. So I want to make all that clear. I'm not blaming Lippert on this, and a lot of you who do blame Lippert, you need to understand it's Lippert who builds for the manufacturers. The manufacturer dictates all of that. All of that's dictated by the manufacturer. Okay? So enough of that stuff. Let's get into what is really exciting, and that is I have been communicating with Grand Design, and they agreed finally that my rig needs to be inspected. They haven't said they're going to go ahead and fix their repairs or warranty their repairs that they did, but they did agree to have the rig completely inspected by a third party. That was huge news. And they also agreed that they're going to pay 100% of that bill to have the inspection done. So what we're going to do is we found a shop that is an expert repair shop for trailers, or RV, not RV trailers per se, but trailers. And we'll talk about them in another video, but anyway, they're going to be looking at the frame, measuring the frame, in some cases laser measuring the frame to make sure it's true and square, as well as testing, looking at welds, inspecting the welds, and in some cases I believe they're going to be x-raying the welds to see the penetration, see if it's been a good job or if it's cracked or break. And they're also going to be testing for metal fatigue, where the frame has been flexing quite a bit, and see if that metal there is just fatigued to the point it's beyond repair, needs to be replaced, or what have you. Bottom line is this inspection is going to reveal one of two things. Either the frame can be repaired and made true again, or the frame is beyond repair, it's shot. And in order to do all of that, they're going to be taking all the underbody skins off, the skin up front by the kingpin, all that kind of stuff, and really getting into the frame and inspecting it. They're going to also, I believe, be weighing it, all four corners, everything, so they can get a true actual weight of the rig. And there's some huge things that we're going to be doing about that as well. Stay tuned for that video. So I'm super excited about that, and the biggest part is Grand Design is going to be sending down a representative from Grand Design to monitor this entire inspection alongside me. In fact, it's one of the people I've been dealing with at Grand Design quite extensively. So he's going to be standing there beside me as this entire inspection is getting done, and he'll see everything that I see, and I'm going to be recording all of this so all of you will see this as well. So I'm really excited about that. Super excited about that. It's coming up in not the next video, but possibly the one after that. But I'm very excited about it, as you can tell. So hopefully I'm going to get some resolution to this frame and we can move forward. We've been limping along here, as you guys know, here in Florida, not really moving it because of all the issues we've been having that you guys have seen in the past videos. So that's about it. We're excited about that. Grand Design has agreed to pay for it. They're also coming down here to view the inspection and take part of that. So we're moving on down the road to the next step, and hopefully we'll have some resolution to everything. So that's all exciting. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and ring that little bell to let you know when we're putting on another video. Thanks for tuning in, and make it a great bucket list day. Goodbye.